more about who gets the first pick than the sides. Side is, both teams can perform on either side.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. We will head in to the final game of the live bracket between Complexity and Virtus Pro.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Calling it now, Wes going to get through the pool. Calling it now, someone's going to play with fire.
Game 3 it is, and game on it is. Time to go big or go home for both of these teams. One will carry on, and one will depart. The difference in cash terms is $600,000.
I'm liking this already. Naga band.
Very nice. Good choice there, Complexity.
Yeah, do not buy it, Silencer. Just get your anti-mage.
Shadow Fiend anti-mage first phase.
No, but I mean, Gyro is a hero that both teams like a lot. You know, both Virtus Pro and Complexity. Okay, never mind. So they're not getting Gyro.
So Tusk has been let through.
But Tusk is, yeah.
Bounty Hunter as well.
I don't know about the Tusk though.
Bounty is probably the bigger mention, I think. Tusk feels like he sometimes have a big impact. Should be mentioned, Complexity played it really well. Fly does play a good support Tusk, so they're going to first pick it. But this gives, of course, the choice for Virtus Pro to pick Bounty Hunter.
Or the Queen, and we know what happens when VP picks the Queen most of the time. They don't really win their games.
Yep.
Yeah, or Lina Bounty Hunter, some strong combo like that.
I still think they can get the Silencer again.
In this phase?
Yeah. I mean, they've been very successful with it. And, you know, that was the toughest, one of the toughest games a Silencer can get. You know, you're facing a Broodmother.
And Chen.
Yeah, and Chen, so your laning phase is awful.
Yeah, I think he did his job, and his team definitely backed him up well in that game. The Queen will be the first one coming out from Virtus Pro. Thinking a little bit about the next one. G plays a phenomenal Queen. There's no doubt about that.
So they picked Naga with Queen of Pain in the first game of the series.
I like the Earthshaker that they played. It seemed to combo them very well. It was pretty stable for
Maybe
them.
the Wyvern as well, like you can just pick it up here if you want to. Like it's kind of a deny pick as well. Complexity might be looking towards getting Wyvern on their lineup to actually have a good team fight set up.
Yeah, because Complexity got Wyvern twice so far. And VP, as we mentioned earlier, is the team that really brought Wyvern to the competitive scene. And indeed, the Shaker will be their pickup. It's both defensive and offensive in the laning phase when you have a co-op, because obviously you have a lot of killing potential with the co-op harassment plus the Fisher, and a great defensive support early on to just shut down any sort of aggression and roaming from Complexity support, especially if they're on the Tusk support. Then you know he's going to be looking for kills.
Yeah, just all in all, like really good support in this situation against what Complexity have and what Complexity might do in the game.
5 seconds remaining.
I still think Complexity should go for full fighting, like take a page out of the MVP playbook, sort of. And they're going to go into Lina here, so one of the best heroes to actively get kills. We saw in the previous game how Virtus Pro, once they had the Aghanims on Lina, they just constantly made use of that ulti. It was like, felt like Complexity were dead more than they were alive.
10 seconds remaining.
Lina has been a very contested pick on the main stage so far by a lot of teams.
She excels with fighting and constant fighting and very good counter towards a lot of the BKB carries like we've seen now.
Yeah, and the Axe upgrade really made her a good late game hero.
A different hero in some sense.
Which was not the case at all.
Being able to just kill people who are in BKB, and then she has her auto attack, which brings a lot as well. We saw Broodmother do damage. He just got slapped down by the Lina auto attack.
5 seconds remaining.
So what are we looking at? Darcy ban. Darcy was the answer for the was the answer for the Broodmother.
So a Brood pick maybe.
Yeah, we might see a Brood ban from Virtus Pro.
Starting to ban out the DK, Darkseer removed.
Very key ban, so they're not going to get the TK that time around, Complexity.
I think that's smart, because Complexity, if they, not only would they have a lot of push, but they would also have really good chain stun setups. So it would be dangerous to go in and fight them. Also, they could snowball in the DK, which sometimes is what he suffers, bad maneuverability. We've seen teams even pick up Blink Dagger on him because of that.
The heroes on my next is Brood and Bounty.
Team ban.
I think so too.
Yeah. Bounty Hunter super relevant. When you see these heroes, Bounty Hunter just shines in a game like this.
No Silencer, no DK.
Thank you, Complexity.
That's They're not going to get the signature
10
heroes.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, they're really breaking up the combination there because Silencer and Darkseer would be so good, either of these heroes, even on their own.
They just banned 3 of the 5 heroes they had last game, pretty much.
Radiant team.
So the
Naga, Silencer, Doxia.
They're actually taking out the bounty instead of the Brood. So we'll have to see whether Complexity wants to go for it again.
Virtus Pro could go for it too.
Yeah, they were not playing Brood at all, you know, a few months ago. But DK Phobos definitely practiced this because they picked it at TI already. I'm pretty sure he played Brood in the tournament. So it's definitely a pick they could be looking at.
It could be. It's a very strong hero if you get the right type of game on, but last game, I just think the build that Moonlander went for was pretty hard to make successful. He went to Deso, Solar Crest, BKB, and Yasha. I don't know about that. I think either Dagon, Orchid, or Necrobook has to be the play. We're going to see Rubik get picked up here. More Rubik plays incoming.
Stolen, and Rubik kills everyone with Techie's mines.
I think one of VP's actually best support duos are Shaken and Rubik. It's a very stable combination too, and of course, big spells to steal with Lina, and it's always important to have like combo break, especially versus Lina. You want to interrupt after she casts the
10
Yule.
seconds remaining.
You know what? They still run the offlane Shaker. So when you have Rubik and Shaker, more or less like as your support duo, it's kind of weak. And in general, we see teams when they have Rubik plus Shaker together, the Shaker would be a core position Shaker, like offlane Shaker.
It makes more sense. That way you can farm up a little bit more. You still get more in the offlane than you get as a support, as you don't have to buy any of the wards. But I wonder what they would want to have as their second support with the Rubik.
Actually, this is very funny. So I'm looking at the because we're predicting a Brood pick from VP, or it could happen. And the game where they played Brood, it was at TI. It was the first time they played it, and it was along with the Rubik, a co-op. Because they picked Lycan with that. Brood Lycan is super hard to deal with, and it was versus Lina, Tusk, and some of the heroes. So far, 4 of the heroes that were in that game are already in that draft, and Brood is available.
I was watching that game. Shiver didn't believe me when I said Lycan would win. Shiver. She's shaking her head. Oh well. I actually think they could go for that, but a key part was also having the Dazzle behind it. It just allowed them to do so much more, easier to take Roshan, easier to push. What do you think we don't see so much Dazzle anymore? He was prioritized higher in the group stage than he feels now.
I think it's just a matter of, you know, taste. Like those teams, they're looking at other heroes. I think it's simply that. I don't think Dazzle got bad or worse in that matchup.
I mean, people are just getting better at dealing with it. When we saw a lot of Dazzle, we felt that, oh, Axe didn't come out so much, so Dazzle was like really strong. And now teams have been starting to pick Axe more. So Dazzle has been like, they toned down on Dazzle because of that.
I really think Brood is getting better and better. Also, Brood is a very good hero versus Undying. Obviously, he can't really deal with the summons, but it's not only that. With Brood's ultimate, you can kill the Tombstone very fast. Early on, it's like 2 or 3 hits, and that's very valuable versus Undying.
It's a very nice hero in that sense. However, I'm not sure if she's that amazing against him because she has to go on the Tombstone, sort of. You know, I mean, she can't go in on the supports that she wants to go behind and start, you know, building up her army. Oh god, the Phantom Lancer is back. Illidan, gonna be happy to play that one.
It's sort of an early pick as well. Maybe they were afraid of Phantom Lancer ban, but now Complexity have 2 picks to adapt to that one.
I mean, Phantom Lancer, when you have enough items, is very good at killing. You talk about Brood killing the Tombstone, you can use Doppelganger to kill the Tombstone. So if the game gets long enough and the Phantom Lancer is strong, Undying is not going to do anything against PR.
So if they went for the Phantom Lancer, we're probably looking at a Shaker offlane, I'd say. Yeah. With something more late game oriented and something to secure PL's lane. So we could still see a Dazzle, you know, like Rubik Dazzle PL. It's a very, very strong lane.
Definitely, you could heal onto Illusion Stays potential. And here we see the counter pick coming out, Ember Spirit. So this, I look over to his Complexity lineup. It looks so much like an MVP draft when I just look at it.
Indeed.
So they're definitely going into the same mentality of only fighting non-stop. They actually ban out the Anti-Mage as well after the Ember pickup here. Interesting by Virtual.
It seemed like Anti-Mage is an answer to Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, Anti-Mage and PR just go hand in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
One team goes PR, the other team goes Anti-Mage. You want to secure your late game against each other, even though it might not actually be that good of a hero to complete Complexity's lineup, but it's just like you want to take it out if you have PR.
That's how it feels so far. Every time someone drafts Phantom Lancer, we saw it. Yes, it was Empire versus MVP, where they drafted PL and Empire's answer was, alright, we're last picking an anti-mage, and it was the same, they had an Undying as well, they had that type of lineup.
Yeah, and late game, even if PL gets really scared with all his solutions, the anti-mage does deal with him really nicely.
He has Battle Fury, a lot of damage.
And then the ulti just deals so much damage, because you always have high stats on Phantom Lancer.
I'm thinking Wyvern actually here might be a good last pick for VP. Then they have a lot of defensive spells to clear out waves. PL can just have a lot of time.
I think they need one more stun, so yeah, Winter Wyvern would be good. You have the ulti, because you need lockdown against Ember Spirit. That's pretty much how you deal with that hero.
And yeah, that's what they lack right now, because Shaker is not going to go in too early.
It's so hard for a Shaker to lock down an Ember. It really is.
I mean, the other options are just weaker though. You can go Disruptor, Lion, but the lane is going to suffer. And you're up against a pressure lane. Tusk plus Undying. You have to have very strong lanes.
I don't think Lion is the play. He's not been having great success either at TI. Some teams went to it, but Lion Rubik support is just a very weird combination. I think you're right on there with the Winter Wyvern.
Could also still be a Shaker support, and they're looking for... Alright, there it goes. There's the Brood. So, I still think Brood is a great option for them for many reasons, because out of Tusk and Undying, one of them is going to be off lane unless they want to run the two as supports, but that's very unlikely. And then both those off lanes can't deal with the Broodmother, so you force Complexity to not go aggressive on the PL, because if they go aggressive, you end up with a Tusk versus Brood, which is awful, or an Undying versus Brood, which is awful as well.
Yeah, they have an issue with, right now, their lanes are very weak.
Because of the Brood, yeah.
Because of the Brood, they have to maybe alter their lanes, and it looks like...
Brood is going to create space for the PL.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge problem for them. Definitely, the lanes,
like
they need a core more or less.
Maybe
like
Legion Commander. Like, it counters PL, it counters Broodmother. It's also pretty good against Queen of Pain, being able to duel her. Maybe it doesn't synergize the best with what you have, but at least you have Lina, so you could burst people very quickly.
LC or X are probably my top two versus these. I don't know. I just worry about the Ember Spirit, whether or not he's going to have a really tough time in lane. He can't really lane versus the Brood. He can't lane versus Queen of Pain. And
I mean, you can sort of lane against a corp. It depends on the first Shadow Strike. If you can actually dodge the Shadow Strike with Slide, then you're actually fine.
The Spirit combo, Ember and Storm.
I don't think it's Savages at all. There are issues with the lane, so they probably have something in mind. The laning phase is going to be a bit tricky.
All right, thank you very much. We will head into game number 3, the final game of the series, to determine which team goes on to the top 8 at the International 2015, as we head down to the arena and rejoin our commentary team of Cinderin and Toby1.
Thank you very much. Yes, it is time to find out which team will go home first here today at the International. Will it be Complexity or will it be Virtus Pro? So far, Complexity's draft and Cinderin. There's a couple of questions above your head for it.
Yeah, I was looking at the Brood possibility earlier in the draft. We were actually saying right after the second ban phase, this could be a pick for Virtus Pro. It could also be a good pick for Complexity, and it ends up going the whole way to the 5th pick.
5 seconds remaining.
Complexity, I feel like they have very limited solutions to this Brood right now. They kind of have to counter it out in lane with some really good ganks from the Tusk and Lina, I feel, in order to make this work. And as the panel pointed out, Ember Spirit will, almost no matter what lane they put him in, he's going to have a tough game. That is not, Ember plays really badly from behind, in my opinion. It's pretty snowbally in nature, and so is Storm. So with a weak early game here from Complexity, they're going to have a very difficult time pulling it back. So it's very important that, I think, so as mentioned, Tusk and Lina have to make a huge impact, and Moon Meander cannot fail on his Undying. He is the one hero who alone can force enemy supports to stick around in that lane and maybe open up for Ember to find farm.
Yeah, because you're bringing up the point. It's like, okay, if Complexity have really, really bad laning at the start, what's the one hero that's been turned to time and time again throughout TI and through other games even before TI is the Undying to try and give you that lane presence. Even Tuskar as well, in the hands of Z-Freak, getting down to that bottom lane maybe, getting the shard block up, making sure you can throttle the lane back again, and give VP something to worry about when it comes to their laning phase, because right now it looks like they're going to be doing a little bit more greedier, but you throw Broodmother down to the safe lane, and then you push the PL up north to combine up with the Rubik of Lil, and then God, we know how great he is on that Queen of Pain. He can have fun, and then you got FNG. I mentioned briefly the Tuskar shards, where he can block the creep wave off. Fissure, even better than that. So he can just throttle the middle lane out, which makes it so Swindermelons has to fight the first creep wave underneath his own tower and still find last hits. You're burning a lot of mana for that. And in fact, his FNG, he's just going to body block it, no fissure block.
And he's going to let through the range creep. I like this strategy a lot more in the mid lane than blocking the wave entirely. Okay, actually, never mind. They want to block it entirely. It kind of depends on how you want to control the lane. If you let the range creep through, the enemy will naturally push yours, but at the same time, it also makes it a little bit more unstable with how you can hold it. And looks like perhaps they just want to play a little bit more of a stable approach here. They're going to drop down a sentry in the mid lane looking for any sort of high ground ward, but there's nothing placed here for complexity.
Oh, there's no wards on either of the heroes in mid.
Swindle got the whole first wave. That's a good start, at least. A matchup that is favored by the Quap. Gets a little bit of help from the Lina basically just standing there. Prevents G from playing up aggressively.
So the answers to the lane was to get a Ember Spirit going one-on-one up against a Brood Mother on the bottom. I'm not seeing that going too well for the Ember going into like a couple of minutes in. At least when you got Flame Guard, you got something to work with. I suppose too, when you get Steering Chains and you hit that level 2, then you can combine it with the Lina for the Light Strike Array, and you might better harass Brood Mother out. But is that going to be enough damage to find a kill, or really just dominate the lane?
No, I really don't think they can kill this Brood. DK Phobos has to make a clear mistake, and you know, in addition to that, they don't even have sentries down here, so it is pretty much impossible right now. And for now, Complexity are going to be okay with this laning stage, but come level 3 and especially level 5 of the Brood Mother, he is going to bully Zizzy out of lane, I think, and it's a point when Complexity need to be careful. And once again, I think the solution for them is to rotate the Tusk with detection early on and try to kill Phobos once or twice so Zizzy gets off to a good start. Because when he hits level 6, he has a lot more flexibility, not only as far as escaping ganks himself, but also getting active out on the map. It's a pretty good hero for ganking Queen of Pain, actually, Ember Spirit. If you're feeling confident and if you're ahead a bit, you could catch up to the Blink with your ultimate, of course, and run down the Queen. Together with Storm as well. Like, they're very, very mobile. That's the big advantage their lineup has in this game.
They just have to get to that point. For now, I'm still watching this Earthshaker. It's like FNG's not 100% certain where he can find an opening. He's been sitting around, in fact, the exact area he's at now. He was there for about a minute, waiting to see if Swindle was going to go out just a little bit too far. Still Swindle, like he's used the entire bottle and comes back to the lane and still is so low. And that just goes down to what God's able to achieve here. Like, you did manage to find 13 CS on the Storm Spirits. That's nice and good up against the Queen of Pain. But one fissure and it can change it before you're level 6 with no ball lightning away. In fact, now he's actually bailing out. He's going up to stack up the camps and let Fly have the experience in the mid.
It's the right play. Fly can farm from range, and he can go stack and get this comeback farm a bit later. You can't contest Queen on her own hill at Storm Spirit level 4. It's just, it's not advisable.
Bottom lane Fissure, just playing around a little bit here with the Ember Spirit. He doesn't want to really do anything from this. Maybe a little bit of a chip into FNG, but that's all. I'm also watching the prep here on top lane. Z-Freak's trying to find the perfect opportunity where he can snowball into Lil. And they're trying to set it up with just a couple of decays early on. And Moon's been able to get most of them off. Like, he's getting 2 heroes in most of them. But there's just no real opening just yet. So the lane's going to remain passive.
It's still shutting down Illidan somewhat. He's got 12 CS. So 4 minutes in, this is not that great for PL. Of course, it is a little bit of a special laning situation that I do believe VP actually didn't expect. I don't think they were thinking it was even possible that Complexity would run an Ember Spirit off lane. They did go for that lane swap. Mid lane, yeah.
Well, there's your first kill. So Storm Spirit, you had to wait for that fissure as a long time, but it finally came in from FNG.
This lane is lost, actually, now, for Complexity. If G gets a good run, yeah, he's going to get a double damage. He can solo him now. G's level 6, the Storm's level 4. 4.5. And this is what happens when the mid lane gets killed off this early. Get a big lead for your own mid laner.
Is this also a time when you can actually just look for Queen of Pain to head bottom? You can probably assume there's going to be dire vision there, but right now Complexity's only vision is watching the top river area and then a deep observer ward which is blocking the pull camp on bot lane.
He can, but at the same time, it's way more valuable for them to shut down the Storm. Like this.
So you just don't care about the Ember Spirit. Yeah, they can just keep going again. Is there enough damage? With that attack, no God! He's got bottle charges and 1 charges. He's alive.
I'm wondering why G didn't just bottle up a bit earlier and use the DD in the fog. Oh, I guess there's no dire ward actually, so he has to have the Sonic Wave for that kill. That's what I was expecting, and why, okay, you get a double damage rune, you have a Fissure, Sonic Wave, and Scream, you can definitely take him down, but if you blink into melee range just to Scream and use Shadow Strike, he's just going to turn on you with Static Remnant and Overload, and you're not going to get that kill. Of course, Storm with the high base armor, pretty resistant against that double damage compared to other heroes.
FNG still waiting for this perfect Fissure time. But God's got no mana to do a combo. So until that bottle comes back out again, he's just going to be waiting a lot longer. Still, this Ember Spirit has found a lot of farm down here. The Broodmother hasn't pressured him as much as I thought he was going to. We do now have a level 6 Broodmother. But you got Brood farming up, PL farming up, as well as Queen of Pain out-leveling the mid. Like if you just look at that in itself, Complexity are in a little bit of trouble here. But the Ember's found farm as well, even if the Storm is behind. So the Ember doesn't have a bad start.
On the other hand, though, DK4, oh, actually, Fly's in a lot of trouble here.
Fly is so dead right now. The Light Striker raid, there's just no way out. No spawn Spiderlings. They're going to move up, cancelling off the salve. Now, yep, there's that one attack. And if he commits, he can do it. The Spiderlings getting Light Striker raid up. Fly continues to run away, and the Spiderlings will retreat.
Very good play from Fly there under pressure, being able to survive through that. I think Phobos is making the right call here, by the way, going for a rushed Orchid. It's going to allow him to solo up Ember. Ember has no counterplay. This hero is really based on not being silenced. You can't cast Flame Guard, you can't jump away with Remnant. And Phobos will be able to find a lot of farm here. He has a lot of mana regen already with Soul Ring and double Sage's Mask, and he can rotate the Spiderlings into the jungle, especially come level 7. He'll be able to farm both lane and jungle very effectively. And Complexity's heroes just can't really counter that, right? Once again, the only real gank potential they would have is to either rotate Tusk down with the Dust or the Storm. And
speaking of rotation,
case, still farming the jungle.
But when are you going to move the Undying out this lane? We've had an Undying just going directly up against the PL, but it's a farm trade-off at this point. There's no kill potential at all. Do you... is Complexity waiting until VP try something and then they move him in, like bottom lane, Phobos? Oh, that's some quick burst.
They actually got him.
Yeah, Searing Chains into Light Strike Array, and with a level 2 Slave, it's a lot of damage.
And when they have the Sentry, and now that, of course,
here's that TP, top lane, the Fissure is on Undying, he drops a Tombstone in the Soul Rip, it's nowhere near enough to stay alive. So the Tombstone gets triggered and will be brought down here.
150 gold for G. It's a level 4 Tombstone already at minute 7.
Not to mention his kill, the second of the game and the second for Virtus.pro. He's up to 3.8k net worth. He's a full 1,000 net worth in front of the Ember Spirit. Even more in front of the Storm. In fact, he's almost got 2,000 more net worth than the Storm Spirit. And yep, Tusk is trapped, and God needs to beat him down, Shadow Strike or something. Like, Z-Freak don't know where to run here. He doesn't want to use it. In fact, the Snowball's going to come in. I'm fairly certain that's targeted on God. Yep, there's your Snowball up. He's dragging him as far in as possible, but closer towards the Aegis of Scream. Barely reaches him in time, but still. Now the third kill coming in for the Queen of Pain.
And Storm was not interested in getting involved. Had 300 mana, no bottle on him. No Soul Ring. Couldn't have made any difference there. So another kill for G. He's now 3-0 on that mid lane Queen of Pain. It just seems like whenever he gets Queen of Pain, he actually gets a really, really good start. He also did in game 1, but of course Virtus.pro did end up losing that game. So a couple of crucial mistakes. This time they're looking to play it a little more stable and also have the late game secured here with the Phantom Lancer, who is getting good farm.
Phobos.
Ember's leading, killing some Broodlings here.
Yeah, he actually had a moment there where he thought he had Phobos, but they had to dive into the tree line to do it.
And look at the net worth overall, how far ahead G is right now. 4,600.
Yep.
Second on the board is 34.
You talked about the effect of the Orchid or the Broodmother. You're going to get it on the Queen of Pain as well very, very early on.
It sucks playing Ember against this. 2 fast Orchids really limits your impact with the hero. And Storm. Like both of these heroes. This itemization I can 100% get behind. I've been a very big Orchid fan at this tournament. I feel like we've seen it too little relative to how good I feel like it is against a lot of the heroes in the metagame right now. And this game, VP are looking to show why it will be a very good pickup.
Complexity, however, are setting a trap on bottom lane. They've got the Sentry Ward down, so they're hoping that they can get the Searing Chain off, because with Laguna Blade on the Lina, Finding a pick-off is quite easy for this lane. While on top lane, the shards onto Illidan, Moon Meander. Oh, nope, there's the doppelganger away. But Snowball, he actually went for it. Going in deep, but Lil's going to be here to control up Z-Freak. And Illidan is going to be a pretty easy kill. Moon throws down the tombstone. They're forcing him back. These PL illusions cannot go any further. The Undying army is just too strong. So they'll have to let it go. At the same time now, Swindle, it's the rotation. He's wanting us to jump himself behind. Unfortunately, no Soul Ring, no extra mana. He cannot get behind that tier 1 tower and still have mana for control.
He's also walking through 2 wards right now. VP have really good coverage as Fly is going to get soloed down here at bottom. It was just a matter of time before Phobos managed to do it. The first attempt he had, Fly managed to avoid it.
He committed so heavily for that though, like directly behind the tier 2 tower, but what does he lose? He's regenerating in 12 life per second.
And Zizzy's Flame Guard's going to run out. Phobos is going to run on him immediately now. There's no counter. He has to jump out. With no Flame Guard on, he has to wait for that cooldown. It's more free farm for Phobos. A little bit surprised to see him keep all his Broodlings in the lane constantly here. I think he could maximize his farm by just moving some of them at least into the jungle. Keeping some in lane, but he's very intent on keeping them in lane. And in addition to that, he's also losing some of his babies here to the Ember, which would not happen in the jungle either.
Downside of Flame Guard.
He might do it now. No, he's keeping them around himself.
It's like he just wants to have the damage. Wait until it times out. He's keeping them right on the edge of that sentry, which now times out.
Look at that perfect circle they form. It's beautiful. Oh, here we go.
Poetry in motion. And, well, there you go to Flame Guard. And you're right, he's got Spirits behind. So he's not going to find any openings here, Phobos. But at least he can make the Ember Spirit a little bit more unsettled. Whilst on top lane, where the pressure is being applied by Virtus Pro. Now, most of that lineup's not going to be spotted until Lil came close to the tree line. So they know there's at least 2 heroes up here. And God, with the rotation up out of the mid, that's also scattered out by the Observer Ward, which is sitting on the high ground of the complexity side of the mid-river. And Illidan wants to add more pressure, but he knows he's got no creep wave left anymore. The Undying can just turn around by throwing down a tombstone as well. So Virtus Pro forcing the issue here won't really work until they've got their Orchids up and running.
I think just slow playing it as VP here with maybe an occasional gank is perfect. If PL is farming and if Quap and Orchid get their Quap and Brood get their Orchids within the next few minutes, as it looks like they will, both of them are actually getting close already. 2 Orchids at minute 15, you can just turn on the aggression, go look for these key pickoffs. And let's remember how good Brood is at ganking mid. He can start spinning a web down.
Speaking of that, God gonna go on Swindle. Sonic Wave, he holds it, but blinks forward, and Sonic Wave's the courier of all things. Committal is real while Lena's dying in the bottom. The revenge kill will be here for Ember Spirit. He's actually getting through Phobos, but no. Says he doesn't have enough. Will TP back to base.
He used everything he had, and Phobos had Insatiable Hunger running. He's never going to be able to bring him down. Gets out. But it's another kill for VP and the courier.
And more time for Swindermelons being out of lane. How often have we seen him just either running between lane to jungle to base to bottle up, to come back to lane to take damage, and then again having to move back out of lane again? This Storm Spirit might have managed to hit level 10, but he's still, like the levels, even though it's only going to look like it's 1 level the difference between 10 and 11, that's a lot of movement for experience points. There's Queen of Pain with a level 2 ulti to do that.
Orchid number 1, 13 minutes. And G will have Orchid number 2 at about 14 with Tread's Bottle, Wand, and a Null Talisman. This is very, very early, by the way. It's only 200 gold short right now. Looking for it in mid. This is when you don't want to get ganked. This would be the worst possible timing. And they're actually maybe setting up for it. G has
Boss has found one. Is Z-Freak? Oh no, he didn't go for it. He could have thrown down another web and potentially just gone for the Orchid attack.
Yep. Maybe afraid of the turnaround potential of Ember.
His Spider Army is waiting for him. They're not going for it. Instead, it's going to be top lane. Fly coming in for the rune, being picked up, thrown down. Lil, who's still been holding onto those stolen shards for a good 30 seconds, just easily mops up the Lina.
Lets them go and steal Slave, and uses that one too.
Is under attack.
This game is looking really, really good for VP as far as the game plan goes. I haven't seen the Undying have any impact so far. He did not deny the farm for PL. He has not forced down any towers with Tombstone.
Spirit, the Orchid, the Fissure! Well off target, but still the Tusker snowballing in. God's going to blink himself away.
Might actually work to their advantage. They didn't get baited in because that Fissure missed. If that would have hit him, they would have committed for it. They could have easily lost their Brood under the tower. He's got great aggressive potential with the Orchid, but he has 950 health and 5 armor. That's a very, very easy kill for the Dire side.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So 15 minutes in now, we send the Ember Spirit up to the top lane. So a rotation for him finally to find some safer farm. And they move the level 9, almost level 10 Undying, who's also managed to pick up that cloak as well as mech. A very difficult to kill off hero, and now you start to wonder, is the Orchid enough? Is even FNG's presence down here enough to find the kill on the Undying?
No, they can't kill him with these two, but they don't need to. That's the whole point. Their lineup is really good at just split pushing. PL in one lane, Brood in the other, Quap in the third, and you just have Complexity's heroes move around without really being able to put much pressure. Like, they're gathering 3 heroes down here. Something needs to happen soon.
Well, they have the Yule Scepter over on Swindle, so
they forced him into a defensive item.
He's going to TP into the tier 1 tower in mid and farm that up. I was actually thinking it was going to be a way to initiate over on the Broodmother, set him up for the rest of Complexity to come, but now it's the top lane where Illidan's pressuring. The Undying TP's up to try and do something about it. Hasn't been revealed yet. In fact, Lil and God on a bit of a ward mission. Actually, bottom lane. There's that Orchid attack from Phobos. Still got spawn Spirelings, and Z-Freak should actually pop from the Orchid attack. A good kill for Virtus Pro. And with a big army of Spirelings like this, they can start beating into this tier 1 tower very shortly.
They are just moving them around the map. The TP from Undying ultimately ends in the death of Tusk. And he had no business being in the top lane. He can't kill the PL anyway. He's not assisting in it. Their support cast, it's the Tusk and Lina who have to set up the ganks. We've got 1 kill on Fly. That's the only kill Complexity has. And
bottom lane,
it's simply necessary.
Jump in by Swindle, going down on Phobos, but they need detection. The dust, it doesn't actually hit him, and now FNG with the stuns. The Yule Scepter actually breaking off while they thought he was breaking off the Orchid, but there's 2 of them where they came from. Storm able to jump away, very, very low on life, but the snowball's going to make sure the Tuskar is going to drop.
Rubik steals nothing. What?
He got snowball.
He stole empty space. It is a snowball, though.
Yeah. He's got an initiation factor, but that just shows you what happens with that Yule Scepter. Should be very happy he got into the snowball at the start because he managed to avoid the sonic wave, but still it connected on the other 2 players.
It kept Storm alive, though. The Lina stun did. So, Swindle gets out alive. But it's a problem when you build the Yules to counter an Orchid and there's just 2 of them.
Yep.
Counter the first one, you just go again, almost bring him down. And Complexity can't find a foothold in this game. Like, they're finding some decent farm on some of their heroes, but they're not really putting it to use for anything else than just farming up more. But they're not winning that game either. 5,000 gold behind. They're slowly going to start losing their map control as Brood now takes the bottom tier 1. He can start chipping away at mid tier 1 if he wants to build like a bridge over to the mid lane from bottom. At the same time, PL has taken half the top tier 1 and it's just finding good farm as well. VP are in total control of this game.
It's not just farm as well for Illidan. Like, he might have like the drums, the Aquila, the treads, but he's also sitting on 1,500 gold and 7,000 net worth, a level 11. And when this Juxtapose hits level 3, which probably won't be far away, there's Storm Spirit. There's no second Orchid this time around. And in fact, Storm going to jump in deeper. He got the dust over on Phobos, but then FNG with the stun. Swindle, he's low on mana, but it's enough to get back. But this PL, like, he's meant to be an offlaner. He's got more than the Complexity core has. And with this pressure that's being applied, I'd also say that the farm battle should be won by Virtus Pro, but still Broodmother's kept all of his Spiderlings in that lane, trying to keep the pressure up, but it keeps finding space for Illidan, who's asking for help. Like, he's just sitting next to Moon at the moment, wondering if they can get in close enough for it, and the answer is no. He'll back up.
It's just gonna take some farm again instead. I'm just not seeing Complexity applying much pressure here to anyone. I feel like they're playing it too passively. You know, it's Swindle Melons who tries to take charge of the ganks, but he's not the hero who can do it right now with these 2 Orchids. Yep. I'm just very puzzled by the fact that Z-Freak and Fly, haven't seen them go together once, it feels like.
Z's
more or less.
Gotta jump himself away. Well, here's at least your first moment. Z-Freak and Moon together. And now Swindle's moving up too, but it's too late.
They're just being kited and super outplayed right now. It's like VP kind of decide where Complexity go, and they never go there for a kill. They always go to defend. When they go for the kills, it's super ambitious and very unlikely kills.
Ultimate as well, the Sonic Wave. You can use up for the Echo Slam. He was looking for the instant kill, and FNG got it at the same time. You've just lost Lina. A solo kill for Phobos on the bottom lane. Now he adds his pressure into the tier 2 tower. Moon wants to defend the mid, but even then he's got to be careful as well. The top lane, you've got Illidan. Even when you think you've got him trapped, it's just doppelganger away. A slide of fist from Z's, and there's almost no effect. Like, there's just no damage. He's got both of his damage deal items back in his stash at the moment. The Broadsword and the Claymore, but he doesn't have slots he can really keep him on him. He needs everything else got to try and live, while Z-Freak, Illidan, he can just chase this one down. There's enough of him right now. The Sigil, he's got both Doppelganger as well as Lance. There's, yeah, Snowball away. He goes down to the Mud Golems. Is the TP going to be in time? One more attack from Illidan. He'll get it in time. Virtus Pro moving beautifully, and they leave the Fissure block. Moon's in so much trouble. He'll drop the Tombstone battling up against Illidan, but then with the Orchid on him, there's no Mordecai, there's no Soul Rip available. Swindle, he can try and go for the jump, but all he's going to find is creeps. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, the tier 3 tower's down to half-life. Virtus Pro are moving beautifully across this map. I think you said it perfectly, Cinderin. Complexity are just getting outplayed.
They have got to start taking some initiative. I was going to say, how long are they going to just accept the situation and not go for some sort of super aggressive play before it's too late? There's a smoke sitting on the Tusk that he could use together with Lina and go look for kills. And even if it turns into trades, anything is better than this. Swindle's trying to do it alone again. Like, this isn't... He's ambitious isn't the word for this. It's just flat out impossible to get this kill.
He burns 2/3 of his mana to try and catch up to the Broodmother to bring him down. But you're right, like how do you even kill off a Broodmother? If you dust him up, you've still got to dish out 1,300 damage. And that's into the Broodmother with all resistance, and all you've got is a Eul Scepter to work with. And now you're going to start losing mana as well. Illidan just finished up his Diffusal Blade, 22 minutes in, with all the early game items he's really searching for as well. So you got double silencers. Phobos about to buy a BKB as too. He's 300 gold away from this. It is a very, very steep slope for Complexity to roll down.
Dire's middle tower.
They're 5,000 experience behind, 11,000 gold behind, and we're only 22 minutes into a game where you've got two heroes, which we said at the very start, the Ember and the Storm. They are so weak early game, and if they don't have a good start, they remain weak. Find me some positive nature here, Sam. Like, I need something for Complexity, because right now, it just looks like they got nothing, even top lane. Like, you're gonna go, it's actually the dive. You're behind tier 3 towers, almost to a tier 4 tower. Phobos just goes it.
Solos up the Ember.
Dire's top tower is
with a little bit, actually a little help from his friend there with the Fissure, but gets the kill. Meanwhile, they're taking the top tier 1. Gank attempt in the middle lane from Complexity failed with Storm and Lina. So again, these pairings not really finding the ganks together.
And Virtus Pro, when you're 13-1 in your deciding game to decide who stays here at TI5.
Well, they lost the game, they were ahead 17-4, so it's got to be a little bit in the back of their minds to not throw this lead away. But in this game, it's way more straightforward how they need to control the map. Broodmother makes it very easy and natural how to just dominate, push out the lanes while they farm their PL. It's a... When you're in this position with a Brood pick, the game is much easier to play than the first game they had to win.
Swindle, you're out a very long way here, and then Eul Scepter up. He's got a little bit of life, 1,100, but the Earthshaker sitting on the rim of the Fissure throws out the Echo Slam and finds the kill. And now God looks for another one of his own. Orchid's over on the Tusker, throws out the Sonic Wave, hits on 3. The Mech Charge from Moon's going to keep Z-Freak alive. Just a fraction of a second longer. He still pops to the Orchid damage, and now Lil's even going to find Moon grabbing Soul Rip at this point.
That is a very good spell to steal.
But you're keeping him occupied. The tier 2 tower was just taken on the top lane. This tier 3 tower is slowly being chipped away, and this is the way you want to see a Broodmother being played. You're in, you're doing damage to a tower. Once this is down, Complexity even have to start committing sentry wards to the bottom lane to try and keep Virtus Pro out. And it's only the one hero. It's the Broodmother who has a full BKB, Orchid, and still another 1,700 gold. And Illidan now is pushing in with Illidan, and Illidan. It's all of the illusions working at the tier 3 tower. Complexity are just outnumbered.
This is one of the worst situations to be in a Dota game. I mean, being behind 15-1 is pretty bad, but in addition to that, you've lost all your outer towers. You're playing against Brood and PL, so you know there's like an impending doom. And you just feel like all your attempts to gank are unsuccessful. So you just... This type of game, you're going to see Complexity just keep running from lane to lane to lane, struggling to defend.
Here's the jump. Storm going after God. The snowball's coming as well. They know all the stuns and the Laguna Blade committed. They finally get something, but meanwhile on bottom, Phobos took out the tier 3 tower. Up on top, Illidan is actually starting to chip away at the tier 3 tower as well. Complexity, they TP'd down a bottom lane, which is why this tower lost half of its life. You take the quap. That's fantastic.
It's just too late. Like, the play they finally got together there with both Tusk and Lina combining in for that gank should have happened 15 minutes ago.
He just got scouted out. At the same time, like Ember, it's going to be Z-Freak TPing away to safety, so he will be fine. There's no stuns on a Phantom Lancer. But this is, yeah, as we see on the graph, it just moves up and up and up. You get one kill and it brings the experience down by maybe 500 and flatlines the gold advantage. Storm Spirit, wow, that's a low jump down, but FNG missing on the fissure, and now Phobos is in trouble until BKB. This is one big Broodmother going after Swindle. He's got #1 more jump over the top of the fissure, and now with 5 heroes moving down, that BKB just lasts for so long. Phobos hides in the tree line, and Complexity, well, at least they burn the BKB time, but that's all. Illidan just keeps that pressure on top, and Complexity, once again, they go into damage control mode.
This Ember has to hold the base for quite a long time. It's a really good matchup having Ember against PL. He's one of the absolute best heroes against that hero in mid and late game. So that's the hope here for Complexity. If they had a little bit of a better early game, so the other heroes were doing better, we might have hopes at it. But, you know, Virtus.pro will just keep split pushing. So Ember can't clean out all the Spiderlings and all the PL illusions at the same time. This is the same limitation as most other heroes. He can only be one place at once.
Just as a thought too, considering this is such a heavy illusion game for Virtus.pro, or Spiderlings as well is the case, is this a point when you think it's going to be better to bypass the Chrysalis to try and go for a second Battle Fury?
It could be worth it here. I think this game is going to be all about just clearing. He needs to wave clear constantly. He needs to push out, then just disengage and go back. There we go. And then he's going to force him back with a Diffusal Charge. And
wow, Echo Slam on bottom, but the heal set from Swindle. They got more than enough damage to finish the job. Swindle will drop. And Virtus.pro, inch by inch, they are taking this game from Complexity. But the Ember, as you said, he's still the critical target. And they go again, the Orchid over on Moon. At least he's got himself a Glimmer Cape looking to try and turn around here, try and slow down Phobos. That's a big army of Firelings. He's going to get the same back with the Undying Minions. So many minions as they go in deeper, but they can't get the control over on Phobos.
if Illidan was still up top now, he would have dealt some pretty good damage.
They're back in again. FNG! Laguna Blade takes care of the Earthshaker. Now they get the Walrus Punch on God. A blink away in time. Down to 300 life. Bottles up quickly.
VP need to be careful. They don't pull a game one. They're in such a commanding position that every kill actually gives Complexity quite a lot of money here.
If it makes you feel bad, they have an extra 5,000 to 8,000 advantage over what they had in game one. So the ability to throw that much is a lot more difficult.
Didn't they have a 15k lead in that game?
I think it was 10k. It was up by 10, then down by 10.
Oh yeah, you're right, actually. It wasn't much more
Storm,
than 10.
that's a... Nope. That's a short jump by Swindle. I'm still waiting for his next item. I get 0-4 on a Storm Spirit. And what do you even go when you're the Storm Spirit? Like, do you look for your disable to try and catch these heroes out before they use their BKBs? Do you try and... like, he's never going to get enough money for a Scythe.
He's trying for a Bloodstone build-up, it seems. Just the standard. Which, you know, if they get a good fight, it's such a really good comeback item because he will get the Bloodstone charges, be able to die and respawn very fast and take a fight. And have a lot of mana pool to fight inside the base, which is very important, jumping from Fountain and jumping back again and quickly resetting and rejoining fights. So I think it's a pretty good choice here. It's all about the timing. Like, no matter what item he builds now, it's going to come out way too late. It's 29 minutes and he only has a Yules. This is around the time where you would like to have 2 core items in Storm, like Bloodstone Orchid or Bloodstone Yules or something like that. But
we got Nanza back on the end, but that's a good observer ward finding Lil, but Lil gets a pickup over on Swindle. Phobos thinking about coming over, the Glimmer Cape from Undying. Making sure Swindle can get back out to safety. And Ball Lightning now stolen by Rubik. So Lil's got his own long-range initiation.
Illidan has a Scotty as well.
Oh. Okay.
These items on VP are just so much better. And you look over the CS and complexity, but they're a little bit deceptive because of Broodlings just giving about 1/4 of the gold that regular lane creeps give. Quite a few of Sizzy's CS have been Spiderlings, so he's definitely behind quite a bit on PL and Quad.
Sizzy also went for the Yasha, so we're not going to be looking at the crit, we're not looking at a high amount of damage, instead, all the clearance, instead it's this Yasha into what, Manta to try and break free of Orchid?
Absolutely. This is the only reason he's getting it, is to... Oh, it's also decent stats for Ember, so it's not just for breaking Orchid, but there's way more cost-efficient items if it wasn't for that. Yeah. But he feels like he has to be able to break Orchid, and I can understand that, but it just puts even more control in VP's hands. You could say maybe he has to go for a cocky build so that they can find some fights where they get an advantage. Yeah. Rather than playing, you know, the survive VP game, they might have to play the let's try to kill VP.
Yeah. Win the game, don't delay the game.
Yes.
Earthshaker. Well, Swindle's going to find him. FNG, a quick blink away. It broke the smoke. They moved down further for Lil, but Lil out swindling Swindle. But can he get further away? He can with a fissure cover. And Complexity to say this is not working, but because again, they're getting pressured so heavily on bot lane, they have to bail out. Swindle is going to TP out now.
Free Roche, smoke wasted by Complexity. They found nothing.
And that Aegis Immortal is in the hands of Illidan. He's already difficult enough to kill with 2300 in the life. When he's in range of the Assault Cuirass as well, like when he's not, he's got 23 armor. Like, how do you even kill this cat? There really isn't an answer right now.
They can kill Illidan from full health if he's next to like 6 of his illusions.
Oh, the Echo Slam! FNG with a fissure, a 5-man fissure! The Storm Spirit will have to bite back as they snowball after Illidan, but as Phobos has gone after Moon, he's going to bring down the Undying. They move over to Fly. This could be it right now as the bottom racks. Finally, the range one is brought down. Well, the buyback will come out from Lina Fly. Back to the world of living, but can he find an opening? The Sentry Wall's down so they can see Phobos, and he BKBs. God, looking for that strike, going to go into Z-Freak. That's Complexity. There's still a man down. Same for Virtus Pro. They lost that Earthshaker, but what a start. What an initiation.
I think they got a 3-for-1 and a buyback there. That is more than good enough for VP for that exchange. They did lose their Aegis though. I guess they were hoping to find at least a melee rack of that, but only got the range. But they could just slow play. Like, they are controlling the entire map, so they can farm all they want and wait for next Roche and then high ground again if they wish to wait that long. There's very minimal counterplay potential coming out for Complexity right now.
Yep. This is that moment where again we start looking at the timings of it all.
Must have been 2 buybacks, right?
Yeah, they got 2. It was Lina as well as Storm Spirit.
Yeah, Storm lost a lot of gold there, so. Yeah. Oh boy.
But this is where I was going. The Storm Spirit, like he was already so low on money, and now you're even lower. Like you're never going to get to this next item. The Ember Spirit, all the weight is right now on the shoulders of the Ember, but Complexity, they're trying to find an opening. A solo FNG would be wonderful. The smoke's going to break. They find something better. They find God. Can they kill him with Laguna Blade? God's low. No blink away. He cannot get out in time. The Tusker takes over 1,000 gold for the kill, and they want more. FNG, Swindle jumps up. FNG's gone east. But that's a very dead Earthshaker. He can't get himself out of this trouble that he's in. Meanwhile, on bottom, though, you got to pick up on the Ember Spirit as well as the Orchid. Moon, he's the man that's in trouble. Phobos, man, known this one, but Fly's come back, and now VP, they've gone in a little bit too deep. They need even more control in this group, but the BKB will now wear out. Sentry Wars are down, they've got the vision. Complexity, they're fighting back. Phobos drops. The middle lane still being pressured. The Swindle villain's jumping back to the PL, who doppelgangers away. Side of Fitzgerald Chain, he can't find the real one. But Complexity, not only do they hold their racks and their towers, but they find 3 huge kills on Virtus Pro.
This is a lot of money. Ember Spirit just got 1,000, Tusk just got 1,000, and Lina got 500. And the next item for Ember here, Manta is complete, and he has another 1,400, so He's probably going to be looking for another aggressive item now that he has the defensive Manta. Well, got Lina, got the Yules. Storm is closing in on a Bloodstone. It's a start, but they have to do this like 3 or 4 times over without losing key buildings.
They're trying to repair a 25k gold deficit and a 16k experience deficit. This stuff doesn't happen overnight. They'll need a couple of daytime cycles for it. At the same time, Virtus.pro now, like they've still been farming the entire time. Echo Slam, Swindle, real trouble, FNG. They bring down the Storm Spirit. And now there's a big hole in complexity. There's 71 seconds, no buyback on the Storm, and they're going for more down the mid. In fact, with a snowball in, can they find the opening? Illidan dodging it out. He makes a doppelganger away, but still losing life quickly. They're all behind him. God, lining up the Sonic Wave, hits them all, but the damage output, God wants Fly, and now you'll set the up. They're not be able to get him. Will there be time? God, the BKBs are protecting him. FNG moving in for support as well, but the Scream, God's doing it by himself. The snowball in, Z-Freak to blink away. God's gonna survive through all of this. In fact, he's denying himself up to Centaur if he's not careful. There's a 2-for-1 trade-off. Moon will be able to bring down Lil, evening the odds, but FNG trying to stall up against the Ember Spirit with a sleight of fist, dodging the Fisher. Complexity, they still hold the ground, and they waste the time of Virtus.pro before the Storm Spirit was going to come back up.
Wait, okay, so I was trying to get a message through when that second fight broke out. Well, I think...
Who are you trying to call, Sint?
I think Swindlemelon's just lost his Yules. I think he dropped it to get more out of his bottle in the bottom lane. Oh. And it got destroyed by the Shaker when he ganked him with the Echo, so that's a 2,800 gold loss. And that means should he get his Bloodstone, he can't play aggressively anymore, because now he's just going to get Orchided again. This ain't good. This ain't good. Saw Courier starting to fly toward bottom, so I was wondering if he had hit it in the trees while he was bottling, but it gave up. So I think they've just accepted the fact that it's gone.
So what do? Like you want to finish your Bloodstone? Do you...
You want
so much money.
Actually. That's what you want to do, but I would not advise that.
Like,
in this
efficiency be damned.
He's got to feel really sad about that. You know, when you go for that efficiency, it's the thing that, you know, it happens like 1 out of 100 games that thing happens to you, right? And then it has to be a deciding game here. That is just so incredibly unfortunate for Swindle. And he obviously has to play on full efficiency, right?
They get jumped. They're going up to forward block. The pull back in with Laguna Blade. They find the pickoff. Storm Spirit repairs a lot of what he lost by getting 1,000 gold for that kill, but now he's not getting it out. The Echo Slam, FNG's in. Moon, he needs to keep him alive. Swindle back in again. The Storm Spirit, he's doing the work. FNG's down. The Ember makes to jump himself back up, but Swindle needs more mana. Has enough. Back to the tree line. The Sun from Fly, buying space. Z-Freak also with shards and punch available. Is going to try and TP out. Minimal casualty is the goal right now from Complexity. No more pickoffs, and in fact, there won't be any. Brood down, Earthshaker down. Space once again being created by Complexity. How big is this M getting? And when's his next item? He's got 4,000. Is this... I actually still think the Battlefield is probably going to be more effective than a Rapier game. But he's making the move over. It's a question mark. Just because it's an illusion game, you look to the Battle Fury.
You know that one Battle Fury hits really hard when you have plus 330 damage, right? It's pretty good. It's probably better for the price. But,
potentially.
You know, but if you lose it,
yeah,
it's a problem. Giving a Rapier to PL is not good either, or the Queen of Pain for that matter.
Then again, Ember Spirit, like, he's going to be buying out everything he's got anyway.
I wouldn't mind being a Rapier from Zin here. I don't think he's going to do it because they might feel like he can still win the fights, and incredibly they have managed to take some key kills here in the last 10 minutes, but realistically they shouldn't have found all these.
They're taking the first tier 1 tower, but Fly, the Observer was watching him. He's not going to be able to Yule Scepter in time to get away, while Swindle as well as Z. Yeah, they want to get out of here as well. I don't think Moon's going to be as lucky. They managed to hex him up. The shards actually making FNG walk around him. He will still drop. Popping the ulti at the last second, but now there's 70 seconds without an Undying and 43 without the Lina. No buybacks available again.
And it's actually crazy to think about how good Soul Rip is in this game for Little. He's stolen it again. He will always have a lot of units to heal from. Spiderlings, PL Illusions. He will be able to get the maximum impact from Soul Rip like almost every single team fight. There it is. The 39-minute Bloodstone. Unfortunately, he lost the Yule, so he's currently around, let's say, for a good Storm Spirit game, he's about 22 minutes behind par. on his itemization because of that Yule's loss.
Life is hard.
It's a very, very sad game.
Ember Spirit, well, those Firelings don't survive long. He'll defend Spirit away. Swindle still on the front lines, and it was, in fact, the Demon Edge being picked up by Ember, so he's got a little bit of extra damage as he jumps around and Searing Chains up the creeper. But the melee round is low, the Shards nice little lock, but FNG, once again, perfect time from the Earthshaker. They need more, however, and they may just get an FNG dropping quickly. Flyer doing the work from the back lines, but Soul Rip that was stolen by Rubik keeps up that Earthshaker. 2 down, the Ember might have bought back, and they do keep on rampaging in. VP need more work, Moon on the front lines, Fidget up, they're turning on him. The Glimmer Cake won't save you from this. He has to ulti, Decay, Soul Rip, Anthing, Illidan, trapped again. Now the Ember coming back towards the front lines. They find the kill. The Storm Spirit goes down. VP now need to get out scot-free if they can. No fissure available, but all 5 heroes remain up for Virtus Pro.
And that was a buyback from the Ember Spirit as well as the Lina. So they basically got 4 for 0. They got a melee racks, 2 buybacks. Well,
life is hard.
We're back to 25 again. They pulled it down a little bit, but it was only a little bit.
The experience at least had a bigger dip. The experience went down to 4,000.
Well, that's back to 15 again, so they lost all that lead as well.
Real issues are issues. Like 27 to 12, 40 minutes in, and you're down a full bottom racks. You're already having trouble dealing with that. But the Ember Spirit is doing whatever he can to keep the pressure out. So he pushes the lane as quick as he can. The Spirit's about to time out, however.
This is a very big item.
So he has to come back. The butterfly?
Yeah. Until there's an NKB on the Ember, this makes Illidan so much tankier, including his illusions.
So this is the real bad time to bring up that Ember Spirit was only 700 gold away from getting the full Monkey King bar before that buyback.
I mean, it depends what perspective you look at it with. It's either a bad or a good time.
Yeah, depending which fan you're off.
Yeah.
Illidan already doppelgangering in. The smoke's going to break on Complexity. They try and Decay to get vision. But already VP have moved down and they're looking at the Roshan. And they'll work through this fairly quickly, leaving Illidan by himself to do the work. And Complexity, is this the time, Swindle? Is this when you make up for the Yule Scepter loss? But Phobos is watching him so closely, so if you do jump in, you're gonna get orchided, and no Yule to dispel, you'll be in trouble. Now they have to let it go.
Middle tower is under attack.
They'll back up. There's farm to be had on top lane.
This should be the game-ending push for VP that follows this. They have such a massive advantage. Killing this PL twice without MKB is going to be nigh impossible. They've managed to kill him. You saw the last fight, how much they put onto him to finally bring him down. They're going to need even more this time, and there's an Aegis. And I think Rubik lost Soul Rip. He's still on Decay now. It's not as good. He might be able to find it again, or maybe find something even better for himself, like a
Blink Dagger,
Laguna Blade, or Ball Lightning Whip and a Tombstone. Could be a nice steal too. Or it could actually backfire, because then Ember has some more stuff to jump on.
Well, right now, Ember's trying to mop up that bottom lane. There was a lot of creeps there, so we spent a lot of time bouncing around. But it's also the mid lane, more side of fist time, but the pressure coming in from all sides apart from top, and that's actually where Swindle is. Swindle's not even in base right now. He's still going to TP back. They may take the tier 1 tower on top lane. And Virtus Pro successful defense at the moment, but look at Phobos inside the base, chasing after Fly. He's going to orchid him up and try and force Swindle to TP back. The tower's still going to be fortified. The catapult will take care of it. But Swindle needs this time to regenerate. He's bottling up as quick as he possibly can. And again, this side of Fist, they waited for Z's to come back. And now they found the opening with a Sonic Wave Moon. He's going to drop as well. It's 2 down. Z3's going to join him with the Echo Slam. Just put the seal on the deal right now. Virtus Pro, they're all over Complexity's base. And maybe they're about to eliminate them. Even FNG surviving on 50 HP. It's a double Raxing. And Complexity, we know they like to just hold on to the bitter end, but VP are about to claim Megas against Complexity. There are no buybacks on the 4 dead heroes of Complexity, and GG! Complexity will be eliminated from the International 5, and Virtus Pro keep their run going through the lower bracket, the rough road to the grand final.
Oh, this looks like it's hard on Swindle. I think he takes a lot of responsibility in that game. He had a really, really hard time on his Storm Spirit. I feel like the draft for them also wasn't this good this time around, so understandably he looks very frustrated there. And
Complexity came here to prove a point. They came here and they said in the